My name is Avon Duga. I am from Napoleonville, Louisiana, and I have held the Guinness World Record of largest female Afro since 2012. To be a Guinness World Records icon, it's surreal, but it's actually something that I prayed for. I actually one day was like, you know, God, if they recognize people who've been in the book for a long time, I wouldn't even go for the record anymore. So it actually happened. So for it to actually happen, I was just like blown away. So it's more than just the title and the pictures. It's absolutely amazing.
My name is Jessica Martinez and I am from Rockland County, New York. So what inspired me to attempt this record was actually the community. I had gotten on social media and I had posted a video of my hair all big up and fluffy, and a lot of people were saying, hey Jess, you should go after this world record attempt. And at first it just kind of seemed like a pipe dream, you know, one of those things where you're like, okay, yeah, sure. But then over time, I started to really think about it and consider it, and I started to really get it in my mind that this could be something that was possible. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna try it.
My name is Michael Emprick and I'm an adjudicator with Guinness World Records in New York City. We're celebrating Guinness World Records Day 2025 by having Avon Duga pass on her Guinness World Records title for largest Afro female to a new record holder, Jess Martinez. What's exciting about this is that it really represents people seeing themselves in the book. You know, sometimes little kids may not be able to see themselves in Guinness World Records, and what I love about this record title is that it really celebrates kids being able to see themselves in those pages.
What it means to be part of the record-breaking community is very special because I think people just think they just give out records, but they're extremely serious about it. So to be a part of it is, again, another moment that I don't take for granted, because it really is like a special little X-Men type situation where y'all have all these superheroes in the book with all their different things that they do. And, you know, mine was big hair, hers is big hair. So, you know, it's one of those things where everybody can't get misgrouped. So I love that.
I remember I got to a point one day where I was done. I did not want to hear the sizzle, crack, pop of that flat iron on my scalp or my hair. And I told my mom no, I didn't want to get my hair straightened. And as I continued to nourish my hair back to life, I just watched it transform, and I watched the curl pattern change, because a lot of people don't notice that or realize that even after you get rid of that first layer of relaxer, they think that that's their true, you know, that's my curl pattern. For me, that wasn't the case. It took many, many, many years for my hair to continue to thrive, and I kept watering it and nurturing it, and now it's gotten to the point where it's just so massively beautiful. And I'm very, very happy that I made that decision, because I would not have known by, you know, removing those things that my hair would have looked like this. Meeting Avon is just such a joy. I feel like she is the same, you know, online that she is in person, a lot of personality. And I just feel so blessed that I get to meet her and that she gets to be a part of this experience, because that makes me feel even more proud of myself, and it just feels like a special moment. Pleasure is all mine.
When I found out that Jess broke my record, these are things that I asked for, because I was like, I think I had approached someone in London about, can we do a photo shoot of the women of Guinness World Records? And the thing was, I always wanted to pass it, not just have it snatched out my hand. So when the icon thing came and I asked to be, you know, something recognized, and then I would walk away, I just felt like it was the perfect transition.
What inspired you to even go after this record back in 2012?
Well, it wasn't my inspiration for the record, it was my inspiration for going back to having natural hair. Because at the time, I just woke up one morning and was like, why am I wearing my hair with chemicals for other people to be comfortable with it? And I was like, oh, my grandma could press my hair because it was so long ago. Even chi irons and stuff, I didn't really, you know, it was just you get the hot comb, you get the grease, you get your hair pressed. So I was like, my grandma can press my hair. And so I went natural to go natural.
So obviously there's a challenge when it comes to shaping your hair, and I do not have the best experience going into the salon because I have a lot of hair, and a lot of the salon owners will charge you a lot based on your length and your density. So if your hair is really thick it brings the charge up. If your hair is really long, it brings the charge up. And so I already knew that I didn't have someone that I was comfortable going to. So I did go into a salon, and my hair was cut a little bit more than I was comfortable with, which kind of set me back a little bit. But overall, it all ended up working out fine. So thankfully, my hair was able to grow in beautifully. I'm very happy with the shape now, and sometimes delayed is the best way to go. Everything happens at the right time for the right reason.
The advice I would give to Jess is always live in the moment, of course, when you're doing the interviews and you're taking the pictures, but don't take it for granted, because at any moment, and I think she knows this from having a bad haircut situation, it can be taken away just for something as minute as a haircut, you know? So be careful with your hair. I told her, as my mother and grandmother would say, keep people's hands out your head. Don't just let anyone in your head, meaning don't just let anybody style your hair. And it's not anything more than everybody doesn't understand natural hair. So you have to be careful who you're letting cut your hair, because especially for an afro, I'm still waiting for someone to come up with afro math, which is how much do you need to take off in order to get the certain lift that you need for your afro to look the way you want it to look.
Pros for having a big hair and big afro is that I always stay warm. And I am somebody who runs a little bit more on the anemic side, depending on how my diet is. And so when winter comes and whatnot, like, I am always cold, and my hair keeps me perfectly warm. It is just, you know, a lot of people will say, oh, aren't you hot? And I'm like, no, I'm actually the perfect temperature. So that's actually something I really love. And a con, ooh, I don't even want to name a con, but I would say only thing is the peripheral. Sometimes you can't always see what's to the left or the right of you, so that can sometimes get you in a little bit of trouble. Something that I think is important is to note that everyone has the hair type that they've been given at birth for a reason, and it's acceptable, it's professional. You know, something I always say is, like, I want to inspire people to wear their natural hair in the workplace more often. I do it myself. I want people to know that natural hair is appropriate whether you are going to school, a doctor's appointment, you have a job interview, or whatever fun, exciting event that you have in your life. Your hair is appropriate. You know, a lot of people don't feel comfortable wearing their hair at prom or on their wedding day and different things like that. And I hope that people will see the beauty in the natural hair and continue to show up like this and inspire young people. You know, I also think for youth, like little girls and boys who have textured hair, I think it's really important that they can know that their hair is beautiful just the way it is.
Normally, I can do the measurements myself. In this case, because of Jess's hair length, we actually needed some assistance to make sure we got the full measurement, to make sure everything was done accurately, but she just blew it out of the water. The mark to beat was 9.8 inches by 10.2 inches by 5.41 feet in circumference. I can now announce that with a measurement of 11.42 inches, 12.2 inches, and 6 feet 2 inches in diameter, we have a new Guinness World Records title holder. Congratulations, you are officially amazing. Great job, Jess.
At the end of the day, it's just about, I love myself, she loves herself, and we're both just trying to get people to love themselves. It's not a competition, it's literally all love.